I made some animation examples of a change that I would like to see made to the HUD flicker animation in 3.18. I love the animation of the cuddy lights and how they struggle to come on. The flashy console animation when you start up your ship is great. However, the HUD animation feels like it needs some love. Right now I feel like I'm in a light switch rave.
We had that light switch installed for you so you could turn the lights on and off. Not so you could throw light switch raves.
It needs to feel more like you're turning on or off one of those old cathode ray tube televisions, if you can think that far back.
Back into time.
Now, does a channel ever come in like this? Now, let's compare it with this new Westinghouse screen. There. Now, that's quite a difference, isn't it?
Hey, I'm Esper from Esper in Space on YouTube. I'm also an animator, a video editor, and a sound editor. I've got degrees from Full Sail and Animation Mentor and computer and character animation, and I've done some game trailers along my career. But what I want to show you guys today is some alternatives for the HUD animation when you start up your ships. So right now, I feel like it's a little jarring. Alright, so I'm going to show you some of the variants here that I've done already. This is the first one where it flickers on as it expands. And then this is the second variant that we've got. So if you notice what we did in the first one, everything is just opacity and scale. There's nothing else that we're messing with here. And it's in an order where we've got it squashed and we're stretching it out and then we're expanding it. So that's all that we're doing with the scale here in the beginning, where it comes out stretched, squashes back in as it's drawing power. So with everything that we're doing here, we're thinking about it amping up. We're drawing power from something. It's like when you turn on a generator and you've got a lamp connected to it, the lamp's going to flicker on. It's never really going to shut all the way off. It's just as it's drawing power, it's going to blink all the way on. So we want to do the same thing with the animation steps in here. So with our squash and stretch on there, as it's drawing power, we've got that first one in there. Same thing with the opacity. So with the opacity, the first one breaks the rule. This first stretch is actually at 75, just so that you can see it actually stretching and stuff in the beginning, because you don't want this to go completely unnoticed. So it's as it's amping up, it's starting on, and then you've actually got 100% as we open up the HUD for the first time. And then we go into the first set of flickers, and then we go into the second set of flickers and the final flicker. So on the opacity here on the flickers, this is where we start it and we start ramping it up. So it's not just a set of double flicker, it's 25 opacity, then you're going up to 100, then you're down to 30, so we're amping it up by 5 each time. And then here, same thing, 40 up to 100, back down to 50, and then we're back up to 100 again. And then for the last one, we make an even bigger jump to offset it a little bit, so we're at 65. And that's where you get the flicker. And it's never going away, so that you always have the visual sense of what's on your HUD. Only when that first startup is there, when you don't have any information. So the second variant we'll look at, it's pretty much the same thing. What we changed about it is, instead of it opening up on this end here, where it was stretching and opening up all the way across your screen, after the squish it actually goes all the way to 100% of the edges, and then it expands. And then what we did for the flickers is we put a longer flicker after the double flicker. So there's now a delayed long flicker and then a smaller delayed long flicker at the end. So let's make a third variant. I'm just going to take these and we'll copy it in here. And all I really want to do here for a third variant to try out is change the scale of the opening. So instead of doing it on the x-axis here, we'll do it on the y, and we'll get it opened up this way instead. And then that'll put a third variant in there, so you'll still feel like it's turning on differently every time that you turn your ship on. All right. So we're going to change this now on this keyframe, and we're going to swap these around. I'm going to get this open 2 on the Y, I'm sorry, on the X, and 80 in the Y. So now we're going to stretch this out, and then we're going to come over here and change these around as well. So we'll go 7 and stretch it out 100 all the way. And that, and then when we open up here, we're actually opening up from the middle. So that changes the entire way that this opens up. And let's actually change it here as well. So we need this to flip-flop. Just so we don't get the out in. We just want it to whoop. And then we'll go ahead and we'll change the variance a little bit. I really liked the slow pause that was here. How many frames is that? So we're gonna start off with a slow pause all the way through here. So it starts out with that slow flicker. And then we'll go into some others. We can bring this one in a little bit. Make it a little faster. And then we've still got everything under a second here, so let's see how that looks. Yeah. Totally different direction. And I still feel like it's turning on. I feel like the bounce is maybe a little bit too much. The squash and stretch. Oh, let's move it up to 90. Just kidding. Yeah, I like that a lot better. A little too much squash and stretch in there. So that one looks good. So there you got 3 variants. What is it, the 9th? January 9th today. So I'll try and get this up as quick as I can to try and help you guys out. I hope that helps. Ms. Esper, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm definitely tired of that.